Do you love creating beautiful things? Melt and pour soap is a great way to express your creativity while creating a consumable product. Melt and pour soap is a soap base that you get to customize with colors and essential oils to create a masterpiece without having to make soap from scratch using lye. You get to make soap for you and your loved ones that matches your own style, like unicorn confetti soap, candy cane soap, ocean themed soap, or fresh coast soap if you live around the Great Lakes, and more. Here's how you can get started making your own melt and pour soap design. First, get out everything you need. You'll need some soap molds like these. You'll want to use a loaf mold like this if you want to create lots of vertical layers, or you can use a soap mold like this where you want more horizontal layers and it's already cut up for you into 6 blocks. You'll also want some natural colorants like mica powders to color your soap, and you'll want essential oils to add aroma to your soap. Step 2, you're going to cut up your soap base into 1-inch cubes. This is going to help your soap melt more evenly. Once your soap is cut up, you'll put it in the microwave using short intervals to melt it, stirring between each interval, or you can set it on a double boiler on a low heat to slowly melt. Make sure to keep an eye on your soap while it melts. You don't want it to bubble up, you want it to melt low and slow. Step 3 is where the fun begins. You can add your colors to your soap, your essential oils, sugar if you want some exfoliating benefits, and more. Feel free to divide your soap up into different pitchers to create beautiful layers of different colored soaps and different textures. Step 4 is to pour your soap. If you're making one solid color, that's really easy. Just fill up your soap mold cavity. If you're creating layers, make sure that base layer is completely set before you pour the next one. Make sure the layer you're about to pour is around 125 to 130 degrees Fahrenheit. If it's too hot, it'll melt that base layer and your colors will swirl together. If you're using multiple pitchers and are going for a swirled look, you can pour both pitchers at once, kind of doing this swirls motion to create that swirled effect. You can also take a toothpick and swirl your colors up that way. Step 5 is to remove bubbles, and you can do this pretty easily by spritzing your soap with rubbing alcohol. And this is actually a really good step between each layer of soap you pour. It's going to help those layers of soap adhere to each other because it disrupts that surface area to make those soap layers adhere to each other really nicely. Step 6 is to let it cool, and you'll want to be patient here. Make sure that it is fully cool. It's going to cool from the outside in, so it might look solid before it's actually solid. You can touch your soap mold and make sure that it doesn't feel warm to the touch. You'll want it to be room temperature, or you can cool it in the fridge and then the whole thing should feel cool. You don't want to take it out of the mold before it's completely set because you can disrupt those layers in the middle if they're still liquidy. The last step is to cut up your soap if necessary and package it, or you can place it in a sealable container to keep it fresh. And there you have it. You can create your own beautiful soap super easily with melt and pour soap. And the best part is you are in charge of the ingredients. When you use Simply Earth's melt and pour soap bases and essential oils, you can be confident you are using high quality ingredients that are safe. You can learn more about crafting with melt and pour soap with the sheet I have linked in the description of this video as ideas for ingredients and designs you can create in your soap and more. Tell me about your favorite melt and pour soap creations in the comments below.